Good day. We are Bob's group, and today we are going to have a group discussion for 30 minutes about our situation. Our situation is we have a group mate named Bob, and he has a domineering attitude towards other members, which hinders us from progress. And our problem question is, what can we do to address Bob's domineering attitude? Our group members are Miss ESTIVA, Miss LAGO, Miss UMALI, Miss KALAW, Mr. LAZO. I am Miss SANTOS, who will be the moderator for the group discussion, and our group leader, Mr. MATIC, who will now start the group discussion. You may start.
Okay guys, as we all know, Bob has been hindering the group from progress, especially his attitudes concerning the group. Do you have any idea what these bad attitudes are and why?
Based on my experience with Bob, as a group member during the project, I gave a suggestion on how we could do the project, and he tend to turn it down instead of considering it as another idea or encouraging me that it is a good idea or it could be a good idea for the project. And I think that is not right for as a member, especially if he's not the group leader. He tends to turn down people's ideas, which is, I think, not a nice way of being a member in the group.
Any other suggestions or ideas?
For me personally, whenever we have a group project and we all have our suggestions, it's okay if we comment on each other's suggestions so as to improve on the suggestions. But my problem with Bob is his manner of dismissing our suggestions, because he's always acting bossy and domineering, and he's always acting so proud, like he's actually the leader of our group. That's what I.
Any other?
For me, I just don't like the attitude of Bob of not accounting my ideas and even emotions whenever we are doing a group work. And as you all know, he has this bad attitude. He's very bossy, and that we all know, being bossy is not a character or attitude of a true leader or being a leader.
You know, I've had this one encounter with Bob. You know, it's not really inside the group per se, but I was just making my sandwich, right? And of course, we all know how to make a sandwich. And you know, Bob comes along and teaches me how to make my own sandwich. And I just don't like. We all have our preferences, right? Sorry, guys.
Please continue.
Please
It's
continue.
okay.
Is it okay?
It's okay.
I'm really sorry. I was just really, I just cannot contain myself, you know. We're all adults here in the workplace, and he's teaching me how to make a sandwich. See, that's the funny thing. He won't let me do my own stuff. He's like forcing his own ways on how to make a sandwich. That's what I really don't get.
Yeah.
You know, so in that situation, I just let it pass, made some small talk with him, and I didn't bother arguing with him anymore because I know that it wouldn't lead anywhere.
Actually, I agree with all the members, because having a bossy attitude, in a group does not really help the group to progress in whatever activity we guys are doing. So like, Bob's like, for example, we're doing our own things so that we can like,
More of like volunteering.
yeah, volunteering, but Bob will say, you do this, you do that, and I don't know, it's just I don't like that attitude on Bob.
More like control.
Okay, now that we have discussed these attitudes of Bob's, like turning down ideas, being bossy, not accounting any other ideas, or even forcing
Forcing his ideas.
forcing his own ideas regarding such subjects, and even controlling other people. Personally, I see these attitudes as being domineering. And now that we have discussed and generalized the problem itself and what causes the problem, do you have any ideas and or suggestions that we can do about it? Any other suggestions? Personally, I suggest that we talk to Bob about it. But how?
Should we do this privately? Should we be talking to Bob privately? Or
as a group.
yeah.
Well, for me, I think it's better if we do it in a, like, we're all there together, and then more of like an open forum type of confrontation, so that each of our ideas, including his ideas, his opinions, it will be open to the body, and everyone's aware of what other members are opinion, and even in Bob's opinions.
For me, I think it would be better if we talk to, or the leader would talk to Bob privately. So like we can talk about it first ourselves, and then the leader would go to Bob to talk to him about about the problem that Bob has, because I think Bob would be like
Relaxed or
yeah.
I think she's right with that because we don't really know Bob fully, and I think that a private setting would be better for that kind of attitude. Yeah, me too. I agree with private setting because what if Bob would be afraid to respond if there are too many people waiting for his response.
Or what if we just ignore Bob and go on with the project or activity we have, since his attitude itself hinders the group?
Yeah, I feels like that's a very good idea. You know, as you said, right? We barely know Bob, if any. So why are we making it our problem to solve his problem, right? Wouldn't that make more
Either
sense?
we ignore Bob, we talk to him privately, or we discuss it as a group. Okay? So what are the relative merits, or what do we account for when choosing a way? Regarding effectiveness, guys, what do you think about these solutions? Regarding how it will affect?
Well, in an open setting, and if everyone could hear opinions, response immediately, and it's like everyone could hear it like from Bob, not like from you as a group leader. If you talk in a private confrontation, that it will come from you rather than Bob. I think that's more of like really understanding him, because it really came from him.
Regarding how about its fairness to Bob? What do you think about it?
That's what I think. Cause I suggested that it's better to talk to him privately, right? Because he would probably think that we group members are like bombarding him. So it's like better to talk to him privately.
I think
Usually in an open setting, and if we're all involved in an open forum with Bob, of course we're going to share our experiences with him or issues with him, and I think that that could be a bit overwhelming for Bob if he hears many issues about.
How about its appropriateness, or is it appropriate? Do you think it is appropriate?
Again, as she said moments ago, we barely even know Bob. So what right do we have to either confront him privately or to confront him as a group if we barely even know Bob? Maybe his domineering attitude may be coming from something else and we don't know what that something else. So maybe it's best not to interfere with this attitude because,
And then just ignore Bob about it.
well, yeah, kind of, but let's just try our best to understand this situation as to why he's so domineering instead of confronting him in any form or manner, because in the first place we barely know Bob. It's like we have nothing to work with. Again, that's my opinion.
It's okay. And regarding the disadvantages of, let's say, open forum, or advantages of it, or the disadvantages of private confrontation, I myself think that having a private confrontation gives Bob space and time to express his own ideas privately rather than being humiliated or being bombarded with, as you said, being bombarded with other ideas from other groups to save himself from the humiliation. How about any others ideas?
I think that there's, if we're gonna think about the worst case scenario for a private confrontation, it's actually a face-to-face confrontation. So knowing that Bob is domineering, is bossy, is proud, it may actually result to a violent situation if we try to confront him face-to-face.
Rather than the open forum where
Yeah, where everyone is involved.
Okay, since
I think private setting is good because we all know that private setting or private confrontation is a face-to-face conversation, right? And for me, I can see that through face-to-face conversation, it can push Bob to talk whatever he would like to us to know, especially if he has a confidential history.
But also, let's not forget that having an open forum gives Bob realizations of what he is doing to the group or what his attitudes are. And let's say make realizations about this and change for the better. So, any other?
Well, I have one advantage and disadvantage for an open setting type of confrontation is that the disadvantage of it is that he maybe feel bombarded by opinions and ideas about him, but it can be prevented if one of the advantages, as I say, this is the advantage, is that we can make it as an organized open forum where each one could say his or her opinion, and then Bob would directly reply to that person, so everyone would hear it, and it would be more of like this, more of like a discussion rather than a personal confrontation, which may lead to argument and inappropriate fight in a worst case scenario.
Actually, another advantage of in the open setting, you said a while ago that we can hear directly from Bob's
side, right? So it's like I'm not if we have a private confrontation, I'm not saying that the leader will change what Bob's gonna say because he has a issue in Bob, but it's like every one of us have different understanding on how we will perceive Bob's response. So that's another.
Now that we have discussed and evaluated all of the advantages, disadvantages, or and the parameters of the ways that we can confront or talk to him, what way can we all support? Like, what way or solution can we all agree on? Yes. Is it the open forum, or I talk to him privately, or one member talks to him privately, or we just ignore him and let the group move on?
Well, I think we should, for me, I mean, I hope this is not I think we should disregard the idea of like the isolation from the group, because as a person, I think it would be better if there are people to guide me as a better member of a group. What if in the next semester or another subject that he will be in another group, and that group were not that concerned about that attitude, and would be and they would bombard him in a very unprofessional way, and that might cause him humiliation. I think as members, I think we're concerned because we're discussing it right now. I think this concern will bring us to more of confronting him and making him realize, or make him as much as possible aware that at times he can control or tame down that part of his attitude.
Guys, the time. Let's be mindful of the time. We have less than 12 minutes.
And yes, if we want our group to progress, we should empower each member of the group. And one way of doing that is by confronting Bob.
So what do you advise us to open to public confrontation or private?
For me personally, I chose private.
I agree.
Private.
I would go for open.
I think, maybe it's true that we don't know Bob very much, but it also made me think that if we are the only group member that has ever been concerned with this domineering attitude, and because if other groups have been concerned, maybe Bob wouldn't be like that right now. But as I realized, maybe we're the only first group that ever became concerned about Bob's attitude. So maybe if we really don't know anything about him, maybe we can work our way around that and make him empowered.
And maybe we can know him more through
the confrontation.
that we will decide on.
Yeah. So I would also be choosing the open confrontation.
Open session. For me, I also choose the open forum because if we put ourselves in Bob's shoes, I think at some point, if you're privately confronted, of course, before that confrontation, the group members already talked about their issues, and then one person will confront Bob. I think at some point I will feel backstabbed, or I will feel betrayed, embarrassed, and humiliated because all the group members have talked about me privately, and then so I think it's better if Bob hears the sides of all the group members, of every one of us, so that he can personally address to our issues, since we have a lot of issues about him. So I personally would suggest the open forum.
Personally, I also suggest the open forum since more ideas and more opinions about myself, if I was confronted openly, I would realize it better than rather than the private, since it's prepared. So as you said, I would think that other members backstab me because it was prepared. So it's better if we just proceed with an open forum confrontation with Bob regarding his attitude. Okay.
I have something to add. I think the open forum is better because in a private confrontation, we're not gonna directly hear what Bob has to say. Only one person, only you, the leader. And I think it's really better if we hear him directly. We hear what he has to say about our issues.
We hear Bob as a group rather than, since one, it's subjective.
Okay, so we're almost running out of time. So now that you've come to an agreement on a solution, you may now continue on how we will address the solution. And
Okay, how will we implement this, or how will we do this?
Well, first of all, I think we can set a schedule where we are all free, like in a very in a span of time where we cannot hurry the discussion or the confrontation to Bob. Of course, we do not want to hurry hearing his side and him hearing our side. So I guess we need to set a schedule where no one or each of us are really open during that long period of time.
Yeah, and in addition to time, maybe we should really think about the place of where we should meet with Bob and our group as well. I think the place should be comfortable, like,
To everyone.
yeah, probably at a coffee shop where the ambience is just right, just to give him the aura that he's in a friendly environment, not somewhere like he has to feel threatened, but he has to feel safe, that when we're about to confront him, he generally feels the aura of being safe rather than being confronted like we're the enemy or something like that.
anyone else would like to speak?
I think if we're in an open forum, we should be careful, just as you mentioned earlier, we should be careful not to bombard Bob with our issues. But at the same time, we should make sure that we tell him all our issues about him, so that these issues will not be repeated again in the future.
And when telling our issues about Bob, we should be mindful of our words, because we don't really want to hurt him in some way.
We could also plan or prepare a message for Bob, and we can practice it. And also in terms of asking questions to Bob, we should be direct and stating whatever message we want to address to Bob.
Other than considering the time of confronting Bob or the place or being prepared about it, do you guys have any idea or do you have any suggestions about the materials we should use when confronting Bob? Or
Materials like
I don't think we need materials. I think the only one thing that's important in there is food.
yeah.
Yeah, we need food during that discussion
anything that would actually calm us down. Cup of coffee.
Snack.
Yeah, snack.
Sandwich.
Sandwich. Yeah, sandwich. Oh my god.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you have come to a solution. May you now sum it up because we're running out of time.
Okay, so as a group, we have decided that Bob should be confronted publicly, or we should discuss Bob's attitudes in an open forum.
Yes.
But we should also accord or regard the time of the open forum, the place, and let us be prepared in discussing these attitudes.
So that ends our group discussion. The solution for our problem question, which is what can we do to address Bob's domineering attitude, is to have an open forum with Bob and to have an open setting with a comfortable and good ambience for Bob to not feel harassed. No, that's not such a word.
Yeah. Or
Attacked,
bombarded. Yeah.
personally attacked, and to have a good setting where we could have peaceful and harmonious relationship towards the group's progress in the group project. And that ends our group discussion. Thank you.
Tell me how to find each other in a world that's full of strangers. We're running
You've got to believe in magic, something strong